Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to Lidline Sports with my co-host, Seattle sports enthusiast, Renault Bean. We call him Pepe.
What be up?
What be up with you, Pep? How's your week been?
A little bit hectic, but it's been fine.
A little bit hectic?
Yes.
Well, everybody's got to have a little hectic in their life to keep their blood boiling and keep their life moving forward. A little adversity ain't never hurt no one.
That's for sure.
This is the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Oh, yeah. New Orleans.
Down in the Big Easy, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, there's been a lot made about All-Star games and NFL Super Bowls and All-Star games being canceled in places where they are not agreeing to the same-sex bathroom law. I know we didn't talk about this on the pre-show, but New Orleans is a place that has been acceptable of that. I know it's a political topic, but Carolina's losing a lot of money.
They are.
They've canceled the NC2A regionals there. They said there'd be no more Super Bowls there. No more Super Bowls in Texas too.
Wow.
Unless they change the rule. I don't really care. Actually, I'm kind of tired of walking in the women's restroom by mistake. Have you ever done that?
No, but...
You've never walked in the ladies' restroom by mistake?
I never have, but check this out. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a bar, and I walked into the restroom, and I didn't know that they had communal sinks. So I see a woman standing there, and I'm freaking out. And she's like, no, your door's that way. I'm like, oh, okay. So, but she was laughing at me because she knew I didn't know what the heck was going on.
That whole situation was foreign. That's like, I think I've walked into a woman's restroom at least twice in my lifetime. It's amazing what's in there.
Wasn't the same place, was it?
No, it wasn't the same place. But you know that you're not in the men's restroom when you see they got sofas and coffee makers and
right, and certain other kind of machines
and all kind of other machines. It's just so nice in the women's restroom, though. I want you to know that.
Oh, it's just so lovely.
I hope the unisex restrooms will be just as nice. Guys, we get to go into the men's restroom. The only time it's nice is when that guy is in there trying to charge you $1 to hand you a paper towel.
Right.
I can get that paper towel for free. But to sports, the All-Star Weekend kicks off this week with the Celebrity All-Star Game. I know that's your favorite part of All-Star Weekend, right?
Man. Oh, that's...
Before we talk about that, though, do you have a favorite All-Star experience?
I do. My favorite, of course, was 1987 here in Seattle. It was a great game. The West beat the East 154 to 149. Tom Chambers, then of the Seattle Supersonics, won the MVP. They fed it to him. You know, he wasn't the best player on the court that day, but he played well enough to earn that MVP honor. But it was Dr. J's last All-Star too. He played phenomenal in that game too.
Yeah, that is actually one of my favorite All-Star experiences too. But I'll start with my first favorite. It has to be number one. I was 15 years old when the All-Star game was here in Seattle in 1975, in my third and final year as a ball boy for the Seattle Supersonics. I say back then when ball boys were actually boys and not grown men,
right,
getting a pension. But I remember that vividly. I worked the Sonics locker room, but for the NBA All-Star game, I got to work the East locker room, so got to meet Walt, Clyde, Frazier, and all those type of people. I remember going into the West locker room, though, and picking up Bob Lanier's size 22 shoe.
Did you need help?
No, but I thought people were living in that joke as big as that shoe was, man. I'm like, how many people are in this family?
Man.
But Bob Lanier won the MVP.
He did. I remember that, yes.
In that game. And It was just quite an experience to be able to be in the East locker room.
Yeah, Spencer Haywood was in the running for MVP in that game too, because Lanier had 24, Haywood had 23 in that game.
Yeah, probably should have won it. If it was today's NBA,
right,
they would have gave it to Haywood.
Definitely.
Just like they gave it to Chambers in '87 when Magic, spoon-fed him.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
The MVP. But '87 was really fun, too, coming back to Seattle for my second All-Star game. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I flew home. I was dating this young lady here named Pam Pete, and had a chance to meet Jeffrey Osborne. He was about 4'2". I was like, dang, this dude is small.
Can you woo, woo, woo?
Can you woo, woo, woo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was woo, woo, wooing, singing. And then on All-Star Saturday night, Pam Pete and I were walking through like the bowels of the arena. The bowels of the arena.
Yeah, clean that up.
And ran into the West All-Stars lining up to go out.
Oh.
So I had met Magic Johnson previously. I worked at the Comedy Act Theater in Leimert Park section of Los Angeles where Magic frequent. A lot of entertainers would come.
Mm-hmm.
So he knew me, so I'm walking through, I see Magic. I go, hey, what's up, Magic? How you doing? And Magic's like, yeah, what you doing up here? I'm like, this is my hometown. I'm home for the All-Star game.
Right.
He said, well, you got tickets to the game? I'm like, nah. He was like, give me a call. Call me at the hotel. I tried to call him at the hotel. I think that phone's still off the hook. I had to get some tickets from another source. My good friend Dennis Cook hooked me up for the 1987 All-Star game at the Kingdom.
Yes.
Right?
I remember that. I did not like that place at all.
Well, it's not a good place for a basketball game.
No.
That's for sure. But it did hold a lot of people. I think there were like 33,000 people. I think that might have been the biggest All-Star crowd to date at that particular time.
Yeah, I believe you're correct.
And I know it was the highest scoring All-Star game.
At that time,
At that particular time. Yeah, it was. I think that was.
I was back east watching it and recorded it, so I've seen that game, I don't know, 100, 200 times.
Yeah, so we'll get into more of All-Star Weekend as we go on in the show.
Yes.
Want to talk about and kind of put a bow, if we can, a ribbon on this whole Charles Oakley thing that we talked about last weekend.
Right.
Charles met with the commissioner and the owner of the Knicks, James Dolan.
Right. And the birthday boy, as of today, Michael Jordan.
Oh, today's Jordan's birthday?
Today is Jordan's birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Jordan.
54.
54 years young, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Some call him the GOAT.
Yes.
It's debatable.
It is quite debatable.
It's quite debatable. So, what happened with that whole situation is still to be determined to me, because the league commissioner, Adam Silver, brokered a meeting with the Knicks owner, James Dolan, and Charles Oakley, who was last seen being carried out, ushered unceremoniously out of Madison Square Garden by Madison Square Garden security, and then, before the end of business on Monday, had received a lifetime ban.
Yes.
Right? And last week we talked about how in the world can you ban Charles Oakley from a Knicks game, make him pay for his own
ticket. Like you said, man, that was unbelievable.
So now, according to this agreement, they say that Jordan was instrumental in getting Oakley to the meeting, and Jordan was there via phone, and they had agreed now to lift the ban.
Right.
To let Charles Oakley back in Madison Square Garden, and then have a Charles Oakley Day.
Yes. Yeah. Oakley probably not ready for that yet. Dolan apparently did apologize to Oakley, but Oakley says basically he wants an apology from Dolan to the fans. He felt that the way he was unceremoniously escorted out, that it hurt the fans' point of view of the Knicks and the way they do business. So he was saying that he would prefer to have. He felt hurt that Dolan said that he had a drinking problem. He felt more hurt about that statement than being kicked out by 10 guys.
I thought he said he had an anger problem.
Well, he said drinking. He said drinking.
Which leads to anger, I guess.
I suppose. But as we mentioned before in the last show, that when he conducted his interview, Oakley did not appear to be intoxicated whatsoever. He was clear and concise in his statement. So
we'll see what happens with that. Oakley definitely demanded a public apology from James Dolan. Let's see if he'll get it.
Yeah. And he says he's not quite ready to go back yet. He's not going to go running back, but
I think
eventually he will.
I think that if Dolan says that I'll give him a public apology, he will. I know Dolan doesn't want to, but the commissioner could twist his arm to do that in the best interest of the league.
Absolutely.
And so I want to commend the commissioner for stepping in, because that was a black eye.
Right, and they did it quickly. They didn't wait. Yeah. They didn't let it fester. They took care of it right away.
Yeah. So hats off to Adam Silver for handling that business. But to stay in New York, they cut the salsa man from the New York Giants this week.
Oh, yeah. Victor Cruz. Well, we knew that was coming. Well, at least some of us did. He was getting the ball less and less and less.
Can Victor Cruz still ball?
I think he can with the right situation. Oh, Patriots? Yeah. So,
Patriots?
He could.
Is that where you think he's going?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, with the right team, the right quarterback, he could definitely still do it.
I know you're a fan of Jermaine Kearse. Could he take Kearse's number 2 spot with the Seahawks?
Oh my gosh. That's tongue in cheek, folks. You can't see his face when he's saying that. But yes, I would definitely rather have Mr. Cruz rather than chop.
We need a number 2 receiver bad. Maybe.
Well, we might already have one. You just got to use him, and that's what's his name?
Who? Paul Richardson?
Thank you.
Paul Richardson's got to prove himself, man.
Right, of course.
But
he's come on.
He's come on.
And he's got to get the ball. You got to give him the ball.
2 games does not make a season.
No, it does not.
Let me put it that way. So we'll see how long Victor Cruz remains on the open market. Something went down in Pittsburgh this week. Your town, Steel Town. What happened?
Well, apparently Darrell Revis got in a little altercation.
On Revis Island?
Rikers Island now. He's going to have a new address. He's facing 4 felony counts of assault and battery. Apparently around 2:43 in the morning, Sunday, he's out in the street, and a gentleman walks up to him, recognizes him, and asks him, "Hey, are you Darrell Revis?" And, Revis said, "Yeah, I am." So the guy starts videotaping, and Revis asked him to stop, then tried to get him to stop, took his phone, threw it out in the street and whatnot, so a scuffle ensued. A person came to help the other guy assault Revis, so he's fighting 2 guys, and then another guy came to help Revis. All in all, it ended up the 2 guys that tried to assault Revis got knocked out. So apparently Revis got hands, and the other guy got hands. Somebody got some hands, but those 2 guys got knocked out, and they were out for 10 minutes.
So 4 counts of assault.
Oh man,
for knocking somebody out.
Yes.
That's all right. He'll get off on that. He's not going to wind up in Rikers for that situation. It's definitely not good press.
No, but I'm sure they got a section for him. Nice big old Revis Island sign.
It's not good press, but I don't think anybody else will be bothered him. Who knows if the guys were drunk or whatever? Who goes up and asks somebody for an autograph?
Oh, drunk at 2:40 in the morning? Yeah. No.
And then they say no, and you still pester for autographs. Like, whatever. Let people have a life. Speaking of using those hands, let's talk about using those hands and feet. What do you think about this? Talk about this McGregor Mayweather fight.
Man, I'm so tired of hearing that. I mean, you know what? I purposely have not really paid a whole lot of attention to it. I mean, first it was Pacquiao, and now it's McGregor, and then who knows who it's going to be 2 weeks from now. I don't know.
It's going to be McGregor and Mayweather. And
okay.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
All about that money, the dang thing funny. You're bringing 2 sports together.
So we're going to have $1 billion purse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And McGregor's bringing his fans and Floyd is bringing his fans.
Okay.
So here's Floyd is the ultimate promoter.
He is.
So he recognizes that he can fight McGregor and demand his own terms.
Can't read Cat in the Hat, but he can promote.
Hey, I think he knows what those dollar signs say.
Yes.
Regardless, I know some folks broke in the mud that can read the heck out some Cat in the Hat. But it's interesting. He's going to mop McGregor up. It's going to go down. Mark my words. It will be in a boxing ring, not in an octagon. If it was in an octagon, Floyd would get Noctagon out of the ring by a swift roundhouse kick. But it's not going to. The way it works in the UFC, they have a wage scale, so McGregor can only make so much money fighting in UFC. He's going to make more money than he's made in his career doing this exhibition with Floyd Mayweather.
So it's all towards Mayweather's advantage.
Absolutely. You think he would do it without it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't.
Ain't no way. And speaking of an advantage, let's see if the Lakers will have an advantage by bringing Magic Johnson back into the fold. Are you up on that?
Yes, I did see that. And plus, he's already said that he's willing to bring in Kobe Bryant at whatever capacity Mr. Bryant wants.
Well, yeah, that's a good move. I mean, Kobe has a rapport with the young cats on the team. He just finished playing last year. And that's what Luke Walton needs. He needs someone else with pedigree to come in and talk with those young dudes.
Yes.
Very interesting situation. For those of you who don't know, the Los Angeles Lakers are my favorite NBA basketball team, 20-plus years living in the city of Los Angeles. Since there are no Seattle Supersonics, who were number one in my heart and in my soul, now it's the Los Angeles Lakers. And it just hurts me to see what they have become. And without Kobe, it's even hard. It's just hard to watch, Pep. So I'm hoping that Magic can come back, and it's really been Jimmy Buss, Jerry Buss's son, that has destroyed the team. He's
right.
The one that's running it, and his daughter Jeannie Buss, who used to date Phil Jackson. And now that Phil's out of the way, maybe Jeannie and Jimmy can come together because they were at odds because of Jerry.
Right.
I mean, not Jerry.
Phil. Phil. Yes.
So,
did you see that Phil was supposedly riding the New York City bus the other day, nodding off? I was like, okay.
He wasn't nodding off. He was having a Zen moment.
The Zen.
Let him tell it, the Zen master.
Yes.
But I'm hoping that Magic Johnson, who was in an advisory role, I'm hoping that they will make him president of basketball operations and allow him to make basketball decisions.
Right.
Here's one thing I know about Magic Johnson. Everything he touches pretty much turns out pretty good.
Yes.
It's kind of incredible, the Midas magic touch that he has. So,
especially in business.
Yeah. So he will be running the business side and helping with the basketball side. I saw an interview with him, and he talked about training players and doing whatever they needed and bringing Kobe back.
Well, it'd be good. It's good for the league when the Lakers are good.
Well,
it's good for the league when the Celtics are good. Good for the league when the Knicks are good.
The Lakers' paraphernalia is still the third most popular brand in sports.
No doubt.
Even though their team is hot garbage. Got some good young players, though. Did you see any college hoops this week? You watched the exciting, epic West Virginia versus Kansas
That game was wow. I mean, it started off, West Virginia, started off like gangbusters, 10-0 run. And then Kansas responded 16-0. And I'm like, and then from then on, it was back and forth. West Virginia took a 7-point halftime lead. And, pretty much in the second half, we're up 5-7, pretty much the entire second half. They were up 14 with 2:58 to go when the when the bottom fell out.
I just got that. You comparing West Virginia's choke with the epic super choke of the Atlanta Falcons. All I know is at the end of that game, Devontae Graham, yeah, he was getting buckets. I mean, he went on a 3-point barrage. He ended up with 18 points, but before that, he couldn't buy a basket.
Right.
And it just seemed like things just turned, where he was hitting threes. I mean, that one time he was just dribbling around left hand, right hand like he was Curly Neal, and then pulled up for a three and drained it. And then from there, I just felt like...
And then West Virginia was turning the ball over like...
West Virginia just melted down.
Man.
They had the opportunity to win that game, but they just couldn't pull it out.
No, Kansas took it, got to overtime, and then they cooked them from there.
Frank Mason led all scorers with 24 points. He was 16 of 18 from the free throw line.
That's some good shooting.
That's some good shooting. That's taking the ball to the hoop. You can only get to the free throw line to attempt 18 free throws as if you're aggressive with the basketball.
That's exactly right. You can't be standing out there chucking up threes and expect to get calls. It's not going to happen.
Kansas hasn't lost 2 games in a row at Allen Fieldhouse since 1988. Their loss to Iowa State last week snapped a 54-game winning streak dating back to 2013. West Virginia had a chance to hang them their second loss.
Well, Bill Self did say that it was his most satisfying win as a collegiate coach.
Well, he's won some championships. I think that might have been...
Well, he said it. I'm just going by what he said.
I think he's a prisoner of the moment. Number 3, KU goes to number 4, Baylor, this Saturday for a Big 12
That should
showdown.
be a hot matchup right there.
It definitely will. What about these guys attempting these comebacks? Are you ready for a Vince Young comeback?
Vince Young. Well, his agent, Lee Steinberg, says, "Welcome to my new client, Vince Young, who is prepared to, continue with more football. And he's currently in negotiations with the CFL's Saskatchewan Rough Riders."
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Vince Young. Okay, I was thinking it was Vince Vaughn from Wedding Crashers and Swingers.
No.
Vince Young.
Vince
the
Young,
QB.
yes, from Texas.
2005
champion.
2006, number 3 overall pick.
Yes. MVP. He hasn't played since 2011 and officially retired in 2014.
Yeah, he was last seen in the Cleveland Browns uniform.
Right. And got cut before the season.
So you say he's going to Saskatchewan?
Well, he's in negotiations with them.
Okay. It's been rumored that he was coming out of retirement to help jumpstart this new upstart
Spring League
of American football. You heard about that?
Vaguely. I've heard more about the new basketball league that's supposed to be coming out.
Okay. Well, the Spring League is starting up in April. They plan to play 6 games and use unsigned NFL players and NFL prospects. The original plan, I thought the way they articulated it was they were supposed to have a 10-game season where they divided the country up into 10 regions and put a team in that region, and that team would draw from the talent in that particular region.
Right.
And their business model was to get local fan excitement from knowledge of past college players. So those college players that played in that area would play on the local spring football league team and be a draw.
Okay.
So this new 4-game league that they're doing in April, I don't know how that changes anything or differentiates from their original business model, but we'll see how it goes.
Do they have cities set up yet?
No, not at press time.
Right. Because this is February.
I know.
And February goes fast.
It is. The only thing I can find is they were set to play the games some location where they would have their training camp and everything. So I didn't really understand it. So
okay,
we'll do some more research on it and see if it actually comes to anything. I mean, there have been a number of fledgling leagues, the XFL.
Right. He hate me.
Yeah, he hate me. The USFL, which was a valid league.
Oh man, Herschel Walker.
Yeah, that was a valid league. Probably should still be around. Your buddy Donald Trump helped to ruin that league.
Yes, but he's not my buddy.
I thought y'all was tight.
No.
You're not his Negro?
No, I am not his Negro. I'm not taking his calls.
Nate the Great's attempted to come back too. I know that's your guy.
He is my guy. He's a 206 guy, so
yes.
I got love for him. But you know what? To me, when it's over, man.
You think it's over for Nate?
I do. He had a good career. He spent 11 years in the NBA. He averaged 11 points, about 4 assists a game. So he did well. He played mostly with the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Bulls. And so he spent some time with Denver as well. But, I think that perhaps maybe it's time to just, try other ventures. He's got a restaurant business. He's got other things going on. So
Nate's Chicken and Waffles.
You're right.
If you're in Seattle, visit it.
Yes. It's not bad. So, these guys, it's hard to get out of the limelight once you've had a taste of it for a long time. 11 years is a long time. Getting your name mentioned, almost every night on ESPN and whatever. And then when you're done, who are you? Some guys just don't know who they are. They try to find themselves, and then they figure, well, they're working out and whatever. I can still do this. And they get with their friends. They play ball together. They say, man, you can still do it. Like, no, you can't. They got to get a reality check. And he signed with the Delaware 87ers, an affiliate of the Philadelphia 76ers. So, I wish him all the best, but I don't think it's going to go too far.
I don't know. I won't count Nate out. I sat next to Nate at the UCLA UW basketball game a couple weeks ago, and he's still in pretty good shape. He's probably a little rusty. His first game with the 87ers.
Nice name.
He had 3 points, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds, and 3 hot apple turnovers in 18 minutes. He said that he wanted to come back to pay homage to his idol, Allen Iverson, number 3.
Right.
That's why he got 3 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 hot apple turnovers in his first game back. That's probably not the reason why, but that's what he did. And
Newark, Delaware, where they play, is not far from Philly.
Yeah, not far from Philly. So let's see how he does. I tried to see if they had a second game. They haven't played a second game yet. Let's see after he works the rust off a little bit and gets back into game shape what he's looking like before we cast him out. He might make a comeback.
Good luck.
He says that he's adopted the Peter Pan theory. You know what that is?
No.
That he is young at heart, like Peter Pan.
Oh,
so
boy.
he will be young. So don't worry about him being 33 years old. He feels like he's 13.
All right.
And so he's healthy and he's ready to go. Did you hear Lonzo Ball's dad say that Lonzo Ball was going to be better than Steph Curry and Jason Kidd?
I did. I saw the interview he did. He did a video conference call with TMZ Sports. And they asked him, they said, hey, how good is Lonzo, and how do you think that he'll who do you think he compares to in the NBA? And the first thing he said was, well, Lonzo doesn't compare to anyone. He's his own person. He's his own player. But he said, I've heard him being compared to Jason Kidd. And my LeVar Ball speaking, his assessment was, well, he's taller than Kidd. He's longer than Kidd. He shoots better than Kidd. He has a better shot than Kidd. and he does everything better than Kidd except perhaps pass. But and then he was asked, well, what about Steph Curry? He said, well, Steph Curry's a great player, but Lonzo's going to be better than him too.
Yeah, that's the part I heard. And then he said, you can't tell how good he's going to be because he's younger.
Right.
Which is true. And we don't know if Lonzo Ball, who was a great college basketball player, and I believe that he's going to be a great pro. At the same game, UCLA, UW game, Nate Robinson was like, I don't believe that kid can shoot that NBA three when he gets to the NBA. I'm like, yes, he can.
Well, he sure proved it the other night when he knocked down that 32-footer.
Yeah.
Step back.
Exactly. And so there's no telling how good that kid is going to be. He might be better than Steph Curry. The problem is his dad shouldn't be putting that kind of pressure on him.
Yeah, LeVar Ball is the kind of guy that's like, it's like when you see him coming, it's like, oh, no. Because, listen, I understand that he wants his son to do well. He's got 2 other sons that's going to be pretty good. We all puff our chest out when our sons do great, but you don't want to be that guy that's just annoying. Like, remember Richard Williams was when Serena and Venus, when you saw him coming, everybody was like, roll their eyes. Oh, boy.
Well, if that's any indication, maybe that style works.
It's good to promote your son.
Is the #1 tennis player in the world.
Right.
Women's tennis player, and Venus is great in her own right.
And he's kept quiet since then. But, I mean, this guy, he seems very cocky. In the interview, it seems like he was very cocky. So I think he just needs to tone it down a little bit.
I agree with you. I just think he's taking a page out of Richard Williams' book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that he is hyping his kids up like Richard hyped up Venus and Serena with cause. And I think he has cause too. But, just because you have cause doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yes.
Celebrity All-Star Game. Since 2003, they've played this game that mixes entertainers, retired NBA players, and WNBA players.
Yes.
It is what it is, Pap.
It is. They got Michael Smith and Jamel Hill coaching. They are the hosts of SportsCenter 6 p.m. SportsCenter show.
Used to be his and hers.
Yeah. Right. Michael Smith will be coaching the West, and he's got on his team Mark Cuban, Baron Davis, Romeo Miller,
Hooper,
yeah, Master P,
Lil Romeo,
yeah, and Candace Parker. Jamel on her team, she's coaching the East. She's got Nick Cannon, Oscar Schmidt, a Brazilian legend, Jason Williams, White Chocolate, and Lindsay Whalen from the Minnesota team from the WNBA team.
Don't ask me.
Uh-oh. Hey, for all you WNBA fans, no offense.
All I know is the LA Sparks, baby, and the Seattle Storm.
Right.
Other than that.
Yeah. So that game is on 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday night. So
that is a missable event for me.
And that's on TNT.
It's a missable event. But I encourage you to watch it to see some of your favorite celebrities. Candace Parker will be getting buckets. Watch. That's my prediction. Then there's All-Star Saturday. Before that it's the Rising Stars competition. BBVA. Compass All-Star Rising Stars Challenge. It's the U.S. versus the world format. Players to watch. D'Angelo Russell. These are players in their first or second year in the NBA.
Right. They used to call it the sophomore, it used to be rookie-sophomore game.
Yeah. Now it's the All-Star Rising Stars Challenge. Got to have a nice little slogan to go along with it.
And sponsor.
Yeah, that helps you to get that money. So it's U.S. versus the world. That means it's United States-born players versus international players. Players to watch are D'Angelo Russell from my Lakers.
Well, now, will Trump be there looking to deport anybody?
That's a good one, Bill.
Oh.
who knows? With the way they got ICE running around rounding up people, it's a travesty.
Agent Orange in the building.
They might let Agent Orange in there. Karl Anthony Towns from the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker from the Suns.
I like him.
And for the U.S. World Squad, Nikola Jovic.
Yeah, good luck.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Knicks.
And Jamal Murray from the Nuggets.
All right.
I bet you that game's going to be better than the regular All-Star game.
I don't know about that.
I bet you it's going to be more competitive.
Oh, probably.
Yes. Those dudes are going to be out there trying to make a name.
Right. Yeah, I think there'll be a little bit of defense played.
Yeah, because there will not be any in the regular game.
No.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will.
Then there's on Saturday, All-Star Saturday, which begins with the Taco Bell Run for the Toilet Skills competition.
Boy, true that.
Their slogan is Run for the Border. I have to give it a different one. I'm not eating Taco Bell, though. Y'all go do what you want to do.
No, they're not a sponsor, so we can talk about them.
They're not our sponsor. Do you have a favorite in the skills competition?
I'm going to go with IT.
Isaiah Thomas.
Why not?
I think, yeah, Devin Butler should give him a run, though. Devin Butler.
Booker.
Yeah, okay, I typed it wrong. Devin Booker. He should give Isaiah a run, but I do hope Isaiah wins that competition. That would be good for him and good for his resume and also for another Seattle area. He grew up not far from Seattle, about 30 miles down I-5 in Tacoma, to win a All-Star Weekend event.
Mm-hmm.
3-point shootout. Can Klay Thompson better his 27 of 34 from last year?
No, I don't see it. I don't think so.
You just think that was just like he just got hot last year?
Well, you know, he can shoot now, but I think that was the peak. That was his peak. He's not going to get hot like that again Saturday night.
Will he win it? Is there anybody that can contend?
Yes, but he'll win it.
No, okay. Well, so the actual excitement and intrigue will be whether or not he can make more than 27 threes out of the 34 shots that he's going to be given. The highlight of the evening, just think they're about to get rid of this, or there's a lot of talk about them getting rid of this event, the Gatorade Slam Dunk Contest. No two-time winner Zach LaVine. He's out with a torn ACL, so it's all Aaron Gordon.
Yes. And that's his whole game, the Slam Dunk Contest, because I haven't seen anything else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. DeAndre Jordan's in it.
Is he blocking shots?
Yeah, no, can't block shots and no CP3 to throw him in the alley-oop, so I don't know. But here's my
sleeper.
The Suns' high-flying YouTube sensation, Derrick Jones Jr. from the Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
If you all have not heard of Derrick Jones Jr., go to YouTube and look at his dunks. This dude goes. And he knows he's going to have to step his game up because Aaron Gordon has tricks.
Right. And can Mr. Jones do it in the limelight? I mean, he can do it in the gym, but when the bright lights are on, things change.
Yeah, he's been in a number of slam dunk contests, so I don't think he'll be too overwhelmed by the stage. But you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
TNT, national TV.
That will be definitely something to watch. I will be DVRing the All-Star Saturday portion of the weekend.
Of course, a lot of people thought that Aaron Gordon should have won last year.
Yeah, I saw him on ESPN the other day, and they were calling him the People's Champion. Like, right, right. Zach LaVine, you gotta totally, without shadow of a doubt, beat a defending champion.
Right, because Zach brought it.
Exactly. You just can't go out there and tie him.
No.
You got to beat him, and it's got to be clear to everybody watching. So,
right.
Zach Levine, that boy got hops. Looking forward to him coming back from the ACL stronger and better.
Get well, sir.
That leads us to the actual game.
Oh, yeah, that.
Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, it's just a layup drill.
No, pretty much. It's hard for me to watch. You know, I'm a basketball coach, so it's kind of hard for me to watch the All-Star game.
Well, last year's was just the epitome of pathetic, the way it was just. I mean, it was a dunk fest, and you know, people standing around watching each other dunk and shoot and whatnot, and it was no defense, nothing.
It was pretty bad. It's turned into a ruse. I mean, Westbrook ain't even starting, or in correct English,
and
Westbrook is not starting.
And he's the two-time All-Star MVP. How is that possible?
He's this year's leading MVP candidate.
Triple-double machine.
No Chris Paul. He wasn't voted an All-Star. He's hurt. No Joel Embiid. He wasn't invited, even though he's hurt. He should have been invited.
Yeah, he's amazing.
No Dame Dollar.
Oh, well.
26.1 points per game, 5.8 assists, 4.9 rebounds.
But his team is trash.
Not selected. But his team is trash. Hold that thought. What about the East not starting a traditional big man? They got 3 forwards in LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jimmy Butler.
Yes. And, you know, what big man out there in the East that's, well, Dwight Howard.
Well, like I said, might as well start those 3. So, back to your point about a team being garbage, Kevin Love was supposed to be on the All-Star team. He was injured, and now the league replaced him with Carmelo Anthony.
Yes.
Bradley Beal is pissed.
He should be.
Listen what Beal says. I'll never say a player doesn't deserve to be on the All-Star team. For one, Carmelo's a great player. Hell, he's been one of the best offensive threats in the league for years now. And I'm taking absolutely nothing away from him. But the process of it does not make sense. If they reward winning, Pep, Beal says, then I don't understand how the decision was made. It was kind of weird to me, end quote. Because Beal has about the same amount of stats. He's averaging 22.2, 3.7 assists, 2.9 rebounds. Anthony is 23.4. Can't round it up because it's under 5, Pep, so it's still 23.
That's right.
2.9, we can round it up to 3. And 6 rebounds per game. But the Wizards are in second place. And the Knicks are terrible. Beal has an effective shooting percentage of 56%. That's his effective field goal percentage. Anthony's is 49.9. You can round up to 50. So he's shooting the ball, accounting for more points than Carmelo Anthony, but they put Anthony on the team and left him off.
Right.
Is that right?
No. But it's no surprise. I mean, Carmelo's got, you know, length of service. And he's still he's a
former All-Star.
Right. Former All-Star, perennial. So they're just giving him that.
Giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, Beal makes a great point. And Beal is one of those guys under 25 who are phenomenal players. And are up and coming and will be the face of the NBA really soon.
Yeah, I think they should have given him the All-Star bid for sure.
Yeah. Well, why not?
I don't know. All I do know is that the All-Star game is losing its popularity, so maybe they want to put some more younger guys in the All-Star game. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kemba Walker, DeAndre Jordan, and Gordon Hayward are all first-time All-Star players.
Do you think DeAndre Jordan is an All-Star to me, to you?
Not really.
I mean, because his offensive game is pretty limited. And, I mean, he's a great defender, and, of course, he can block shots like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, is that All-Star caliber?
Yeah. You're right. Ticket prices are falling. According to data provided by Ticket IQ on Thursday, the cheapest ticket available for All-Star Saturday night is $120, which is tied for the lowest price 2 days before an event since Ticket IQ began tracking All-Star data in 2011. Last year, when the All-Star weekend was in Toronto, the cheapest ticket 2 days before All-Star Saturday night was $389.
Yeah. Well, then they saw that game last year and said, you know what? Oh, wow. All right. Well, yay.
Yeah, we'll see. What's going down in the town?
Well, you got Metro League playoffs, or state playoffs now.
Yep.
Not Metro, but Washington State, WIAA.
District playoffs are winding up. You got a squad you going with? You been following anybody?
Nathan Hale.
You on the Nathan Hale bandwagon?
Yes.
Like everybody else.
I mean, I don't know who's going to beat him here. I mean, of course they could be upset. I mean, upsets happen, but it's unlikely.
Great game tomorrow night in the 4A category. Federal Way versus Kentwood.
Federal Way finally lost a game a couple weeks ago.
They did lose a game. They were looking ahead to a never going to happen matchup with Nathan Hale.
Right.
Talking about
like
them
a
wanting Nathan Hale.
60-some-odd game winning streak that got snapped.
Yeah, you can't look ahead.
No.
And you can't talk trash about your opponent like everybody in their league is garbage. We want to play somebody in the 3A league. And then they went out and got beat. But it'll
by
be
10. By double digits.
Yeah, it'll be a good game tomorrow night down in Puyallup. This year is so weird. They have teams ranked according to an RPI, and so a lot of the district tournament games don't make any bit of difference as it relates to the state tournament. We qualified, Seattle Prep, for the state tournament by beating Bellevue on Tuesday night, and then we played Rainier Beach last night and lost. But we still will be going to play for the state regional game next Friday or Saturday.
Now, what are this RPI, these ratings percentage index? What does that entail? It's supposed to comparatively rank teams in the state?
Yeah, they try to rank teams according to the records of their opponents and their opponents' opponents and their opponents. It's kind of...
So they're trying to get like the NCAA. Huh?
Trying to get like the NC2A. But it's kind of hard to do. It doesn't make any sense. We had teams that we beat that were ranked higher than us. Then when you go out of state, your out-of-state games don't count if you win, only if you lose. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And so what they are doing is they rank the top 16 teams. And the first 8 automatically qualify for state unless they lose in their district. If they don't qualify for state in their district, they're out. So then you have another level of teams through 25 that keep moving up. If those teams lose and get ousted, like we were ranked 14, so there were teams ranked higher than us that will not be going to state, and so we'll move up. So so far we moved up from 14 to 11. Okay. And then we'll probably be able to move up. There are 2 teams that play tomorrow.
Moving on up,
Saturday. Then we might move up to 9, but that does not give us the first 8, which automatically qualifies for the state tournament. we're just in the state regionals,
Gotcha.
which is a loser out game. If you lose, you're done. If you win, you go into the state tournament of 12. So you have 8 that are in. They'll play each other, how they're ranked for seeding in the 12. And then you'll have another group that will be vying for the last 4 spots to go into the state tournament, 4-day tournament.
All right.
It's kind of convoluted, but that's the way it is. Whew, spring training. Mariners open spring training.
Yes, indeed.
You looking forward to that?
I am. I am a Yankees fan.
You're a Yankees fan.
But I do like my hometown team. But Yankees have always been number 1 for me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I don't know anything about them Yankees.
All right. We'll talk about the Mariners.
The Mariners
open
this weekend. Manager Scott Service has implemented the slogan, whatever it takes. Service is in his second year. Did a pretty good job in his first year.
He did.
Be a first-time manager.
He did. The Mariners, they were up and down a lot last year, but they ended up 10 games over. So they got pretty high expectations. This year they're really under some pressure because, for one, King Felix Hernandez, he's 31. He did not have a good year last year, so he has to bounce back. And then you've got Sashi Iwakuma, who seems to be, he plays well. I mean, pitches well, but he seems to get hurt a lot, and he misses a lot of games, as does James Paxton. Those 3 right there have to play well, pitch well, for one thing. Felix, I think he has to win 18-20.
Yeah.
He has to. And Iwakuma's got to be in that 15 range, and Paxton's got to be right behind him.
Service is excited about the Mariners, but I've read 3 different publications, and not one of them are predicting them to win the pennant. Most of them are predicting them to win either one more than they won last year, or one less than they won last year.
Well, DePoto, the general manager, he did a league-high 13 trades this season. So they're really pushing. They picked up a shortstop from Arizona who was dynamite last year. He had 20 home runs, batted .303, 33 stolen bases. The kid was dynamite. So, if he can get going along with Seager and Cano and Cruz, they might have something. They just don't have a first baseman that can hit, and that's a problem.
Yeah, well, they say their pitching is the strong part of their team. They are built for speed now. Service went out and acquired base stealers Jared Dyson and Gene Segura. Last year, the M's were a power team, hitting 223 home runs. That was second in the American League. And so
terrible defensively.
Yeah, well, now they're supposed to be more athletic.
Right.
And they're supposed to be faster. So Service says they're going to be fun to watch, and he wants everybody to come on out and watch the Mariners this year. I'm hoping that they do something. I mean, there's been a whole bunch of teams, expansion franchises that have come in and gone to the World Series, and the Mariners are still wanting. But I love going to the Mariners games in the summertime down at the Safe on a nice hot summer night. There's no better place to be in Seattle.
Yes, July the Yankees will be in town.
On behalf of Renault Pepe Bean, the Yankee fan, I'm Granville Emerson. Thank you for listening to Lidline Sports. Join us again next week for more great sports talk on Lidline Sports. Sports as we see it from just below our lids.